Review number 2. Let's do it. Pokémon X and Y were released on October 12, 2013 on the 3DS. Pokémon X and Y brought the series out of many years of 2D sprites into a brand new 3D world. I've been playing Pokémon since the very beginning in 1998 when Red and Blue were released in North America, and since then I've bought just about every Pokémon game there is, and a ton of other merch. And a lot of Pokemon cards. This isn't even it. Ever since I played Pokemon back in the 90s, Pokemon has been by far my favorite game series of all time. And when I found out that Pokemon X and Y were going to be released, I was ecstatic! I bought a 3DS just to play them. So do I love it, or do I hate it? I'm going to tell you in this video, and hopefully I won't mess up my words as much as I did in my Link Between Worlds review, but I have a lot to say about this game, and a lot of cool art to show you. So, let's do it! Alright, the first category, story. The story of Pokemon games are always largely the same. You start out as a 10-year-old boy or girl in a small town, and a Pokemon professor asks you to help them complete a Pokédex, a huge encyclopedia that records information about every single Pokemon that you see and catch. To put it into RPG terms, it's just a high-tech bestiary. Then, through someone telling you to do so, you travel around the region, battling all 8 gym leaders located in random towns throughout the region. Halfway through the game, you meet a team of either Pokemon thieves or people with really messed up philosophies. Sometimes both. You give up gym battling for a while, and you stop the evil team. And after that, you finish getting the gym badges and challenge the Elite Four and eventually the champion. And Pokemon X and Y does not change that up. However, what makes each Pokemon game different are the new teams, Pokemon, and other characters you meet on your journey. And Pokemon X and Y brings some very unique characters to the table. I will be brief when talking about the evil team flair because I don't want any spoilers, but they definitely deserve to be talked about. While they look a little goofy, their plan is more sinister and dark than any other team in the Pokemon series. While playing the game and hearing their philosophy, you will realize that they are basically the exact opposite of Team Rocket, the evil teams in the earlier Pokemon games, who wanted to use Pokemon as tools. And I bet you're saying, how can that be a bad thing? If you play this game, you'll know. Since the evil team was so unique and memorable, I was excited to see equally unique gym leaders and other NPCs. And I was let down. The gym leaders had hardly any personality except for what they looked like. I find it easy to forget about certain gym leaders altogether. They really are that bland. In other games in the series, the gym leaders have much more personality than what they look like and can become very important characters in the story. Like seriously, all of the gym leaders in Black and White had characters that were thought out, and they each played a major role in the game's story. To go back to the evil teams for a second, I was hoping for something a little more like Team Plasma in Black and White. No, I don't want the exact same game remade over and over, but Team Plasma had moments that honestly made me question if they were wrong or right. Black and White really made me question my morals, and I thought maybe X and Y would aim to do the same thing, but no. Okay, that's enough about the characters. The Pokemon are the real stars of the game, and need to be talked about. Pokemon X and Y gave us 70 new Pokemon to catch, play, and battle with, bringing the total number of Pokemon from 649 to 719. This was disappointing to say the least. Older generations usually have a little over 100 new Pokemon, and since there are now over 700 Pokemon to have to be able to catch the new Pokemon were hard to find and very thin, and spread very thin throughout the region. But since they were spread so thin, it did feel special when you found one, and all the designs of the new Pokemon looked great. I was extremely impressed with all the new Pokemon. I wanted to train them all, but I couldn't because you can still only have 6 Pokemon in your team at any given point. There was really only one Pokemon that I didn't like in the new Pokemon games, but I found a shiny one, and now I love it. Pokemon X and Y has a lot of strong points when it comes to story, like a memorable evil team, and some amazing new Pokemon. But it also adds some weak points, like forgettable gym leaders. Overall, I think that Pokemon X and Y deserves a 7 out of 10 when it comes to story. I've played the other games in the series, and I know Pokemon is capable of having more personality in its non-playable characters. Okay, on to the second category, gameplay. Gameplay has always been the strong point of the Pokemon series. The beauty of Pokemon is that you can play it however you want. Underneath just roaming, catching, and battling, there is a very complex and hard to understand system of battling that requires huge amounts of math and patience. And the formula that makes Pokemon the way it is since 1996 is still intact. It has just been improved. The hard to comprehend battle strategies have been made much more accessible and easier to utilize. Another thing that was added to the gameplay which makes X and Y even better, Mega Evolutions. A form of evolution that you can trigger during battle which evolves certain Pokemon for the duration of that battle. It was so cool seeing the Pokemon that I grew up training being able to evolve again. While I think there should have been some risk to using Mega Evolution, like maybe that took a turn to Mega Evolve, all it did was add another way to battle with your Pokemon, and can make certain battles so much more intense. It did have a few things that bothered me, however. First off, it was just a little too easy. I even turned off the experience share, which gave all of your Pokemon experience for battling, and still, I found myself moving through the game with a lot of ease. I know that Pokemon is mostly meant for kids, but still, it would have been nice if there was maybe a challenge mode, like there was in Pokemon Black and White 2. Another thing that bothered me was the very awkward pacing of the game. It's a little hard to explain, but if you play it, I think you'll understand. Within the first hour, you already have the first gym badge and the second starter from the Kanto region, which was awesome by the way. My little brother chose Charmander, which was my first Pokemon, and we were able to talk about that. And he's only 7. But anyway, back to what I don't like about the gameplay. The pacing. After that, you go around the region, and it's just badge after badge. And after the 4th badge, the game seems to slow down a lot. I'm not sure why it feels this way. It just feels that the game flows a little infrequent. Pokemon X and Y had the same great gameplay that Pokemon has had since the beginning, with even more great features. But with a hard to comprehend pace, easy gym leaders, and an easy Elite Four, all I can give Pokemon is an 8 out of 10 for when it comes to gameplay. I'm just going to come right out with it. Pokemon X and Y undoubtedly gets a 10 out of 10 for visuals. Pokemon X and Y was the first main series Pokemon game to have 3D models instead of 2D sprites. I was a little sad when I first heard that the 2D sprites, which were almost a staple of the Pokemon series, at least it was to me, were going to be gone. But then I remembered how awesome Pokemon Stadium was. For anyone who doesn't know what Pokemon Stadium is a Nintendo 64 game that was released in 2000 in North America, and was basically just battling Pokemon. But it had 3D models! And playing Pokemon on the Game Boy Color at that point, the 3D models of Stadium looked amazing. So how could Pokemon X and Y be bad if it resembled one of the best Pokemon spin-offs ever? The towns and routes each had a different feel to them that was beautifully translated through the colors and landscapes. I'm excited to see more Pokemon games on the 3DS. They can only get better, right? Okay, the music in Pokemon X and Y. It was a little disappointing. The themes of the different towns and routes were just as forgettable as the gym leaders. There were very few themes from the game that stood out, such as the theme for routes 15 through 17, and the theme that plays when you see your friends. Other than those and a handful of others, the music doesn't really live up to the amazing soundtracks that have been in previous Pokemon games. Many people like the gym leaders theme, but it's just loud and not very good. I guess people like that. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10 for music. There were a few good songs, but not enough to bring the score up any higher. I'm sorry. On to the 5th and final category, how it utilizes the special features of the system itself. I'm saying that the special features of the 3DS are the 3D and the touchscreen. Now the 3D, it was a huge letdown. The 3D is used in one of two situations. The first, battling of course, and the other, whenever there's a big event in the story. Let's talk about the events in the story first. I was excited to see 3D everything. 3D routes, 3D towns, 3D characters. But this is where I was especially let down. Because there was only 3D in really where you were just walking around talking to Team Flare. However, when the 3D was outside of battle, it looked great. I wish there was 3D throughout the entire game. Now the 3D in the battles, I was very excited for, but that wore off after a few seconds of playing with it on. There was so much frame rate drop that I just decided to play without the 3D on. I recommend only turning on the 3D when there is a major story event and turning it off in battle. Now on to the use of the touchscreen. It was the same as any other Pokemon game, really. You could select the battle commands or navigate your bag and change your Pokemon around with it. But you can also use it for the online features, super training, and Pokémon I'm. But I really didn't use any of them. I just wanted to play the game for the story, really. While the 3D was impressive, it did have its flaws. On the other hand, the use of the touchscreen was just basic. It's not worth taking any points off for. Because of the frame rate drops, I'm going to give Pokemon a 7 out of 10 for the use of special features. Pokemon X and Y is a brand new adventure for the series as a whole, and I think it made the transition into 3D wonderfully. Although it wasn't as good as the other games in the series, it still is another Pokemon game, which are always awesome in my opinion. Except for Pokemon Channel. But anyway, it is a solid addition, and I loved playing both X and Y. X is better, by the way. Because it had some frame rate issues and very forgettable NPCs, I give Pokemon X and Y a 7 out of 10. I love this game, and it is definitely one of my favorite in the series. Thanks so much for watching my review. If you haven't already, please check out my last review of A Link Between Worlds, and if you would like to see more than just game reviews, go to the Sentient Sock Puppets page, and you can see David review movies and Matey review TV shows. My next review is going to be of Rune Factory 4. You can subscribe so you can know when that comes out. All the art you saw in this video was made by Lady Kookie? Lady Kookie. I'm going to go with that. But anyway, she is an artist on DeviantArt.com, and please click the link in the description to see her page on DeviantArt.com. I really like all of her stuff. If you agreed or disagreed with my review, which I know probably a lot of people will disagree, please tell me in the comments of why you think it maybe deserved to be a 10 out of 10. Quick side note, I am trying to complete the Pokédex in Pokemon Y version, and I've run into a few Pokemon that I just can't seem to find anywhere. Please look at the list in the description of the Pokemon that I'm missing, and if you have some, send me a message at the Sentient Sock Puppet page on YouTube, and maybe we can make a deal.